Everybody, how y'all doing out there? I'm just checking in on you. So my last video was kind of a bummer, wasn't it? But I do that on purpose, honestly. You know, whenever I'm feeling in the moment, so in that moment when I released my last video, I was feeling really depressed, and a lot of old feelings and emotions started to bubble up. And I felt, man, this is the time to share, this is the time, no editing, no nothing, just in that moment, get it all out there, And what was going on in my head was, I was feeling really ashamed of where I was, instead of focusing on where I am now. But it's so important, I feel like, to think on those moments, like when I was in that moment, I was right back where I was almost 10 years ago, feeling worthless, lousy, having no confidence, and really just kind of hating myself, honestly. I felt like I needed to kind of get those raw emotions out because I know a lot of you are probably going through that right now, feeling like just you're not worth it, you're not enough, and just feeling like you're not who you are. You're tired of letting yourself down, I mean, I did that for so long. And it was, it's one of these things where it's important to just, don't let those feelings overwhelm you, to the point where you just get so sad about, where you were, instead of thinking about, how far you've come, right? Even if it's just, one day. I've been, a bunch of people have reached out and said, hey man, well, this is only my first day, I don't know what to do. It's so hard. And what I have to say to you is, hey man, you did a day, or you did an hour, or you did 5 minutes, whatever, I mean, anything is better than just continue to drink. Literally anything. When you're trying to get sober, you have to take those little baby steps, right? Those little baby steps, they add up, they add up to big steps. And like I talked about before in my other videos, that momentum, I'm telling you, it's killer. It's so huge. Once you get that first day under your belt, right? Or that first hour, even that first 5 minutes of saying, you know what, I'm done drinking. And this is the first 5 minutes. And you look down and you say, okay, 5 minutes, right? And then you got to keep that momentum going, and you keep that momentum going, and you keep that momentum going. And then next thing you know, it's been a month. And then next thing you know, it's been 2 months, right? And I find myself still, finding myself in those loops. And usually it's like there's a trigger. So the last time I made that video, I was feeling really low because I was feeling like my old self. I forgot. You forget all the time in sobriety. You just always forget, oh yeah, it's good to be alive. I forgot about it for a second, and you start to dwell on the past and all the mistakes you've made, right? Because God, I've made so many mistakes. I've ruined so many relationships, and I've messed up so many jobs, and I've said the wrong thing at the wrong time, and that's what this journey is all about. It's all about forgiving yourself, just taking it day by day, getting better with everything lesson that you learn throughout, through your time. Just continue to get better and better and better. And, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't dwell on the past. There's nothing you can do about the mistakes you've made in the past. There really is nothing you can do. So you might as well just take up everything that you're doing now and start putting out those healthy intentions, right? Just put them out there. Okay. So sorry that my last video was such a bummer, but those are important. It's important for me to just be in that moment, get it all out there, and just kind of feel, whatever I'm feeling, I'm just going to kind of share. And I think that's one of the most important things that we can do in sobriety is just share our emotions. We're all in this together. We all mess up, but it's all about getting back up out there the next day and then trying again, right? I was feeling that way again yesterday. So I just started a new job, and it's been very stressful. So I'm back into teaching full time. This is my first time back to a full-time job since the kidney transplant in March. So I was really looking forward to this job, and I was being hard on myself. I was thinking, because it has been really hard. I'm teaching again and around the Boston area, and it's not been how do I put this? It's been it's been hard. It's been hard. And I think a lot of that I can attribute to is it's honestly because it's the first time that I'm doing this job completely dead-eyed sober. And I didn't realize just how much effort it takes to be sober in doing a job well. I know that sounds crazy, but like seriously, like when you get sober and you go back to work, or if you're right now struggling with staying sober and you're working a full-time job, it's so easy to fall right back into old habits. Like, yesterday, so I was so overwhelmed. It was like a parent teacher night. So it was my first day showing up, meeting all these new parents, explaining myself, what I do, where I come from. And obviously there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about. Right. So, tiptoeing around those things, but, I felt so terrible yesterday. I felt so lost. I felt so like, oh my God, like, it's just overwhelming. Should I have waited a little longer before going back to work? And, now that I'm, and then today happened in my wonderful wife, she's so positive. She, in the morning, she always tries to get me like, she can always feel a sense like what I'm going through and when to say the things that she needs to say to kind of calm my stupid brain down. Cause I have such a crazy, messed up brain. Clearly. I mean, who drinks themselves to death when they're, when you're only 36? So clearly I have some issues going on, and she's like, the saving grace to me. So, so if my wife's watching this, thank you so much for dealing with me. I am a nightmare, and I know that, and I'm so sorry. But hey, you married me, so there you go. But yeah, I was feeling so low, and I was overwhelmed, and it was a long, long day. And, the last thing I want to do is take it out on her or, anyone around me that I love. And that's what we do when we're drinking, isn't it? We take it out on the lows that love us. We take it out on the people that care about us the most, right? And that's tough. That's tough on us. It's tough on them. It's tough on everybody, right? So, I really want to stress that, sobriety is a moment by moment thing. One moment you're feeling really low. You're feeling really lousy. Like you just can't seem to get it right. But then, like today, like I woke up and I wasn't feeling great. And then this one student in my like third period class came up to me and she said, hey, Mr. blah, blah, blah. And she was upset. She heard from her parent that maybe I wasn't staying for the whole year. And she was upset that she heard that from one of her parents. And just the fact that I felt wanted, again, was incredibly powerful. And I just want to stress that everyone out there watching right now, trust me, you're wanted. There is someone, everyone has someone that wants them still here. So if you were like me, just trying to drink yourself to death, that's basically what I was doing. There would have been so many sad people left behind, like your family, relatives, friendships, people at work even, like everyone would be so sad if you weren't here anymore. And I can't stress that enough. You matter. You being here matters to so many other people. So don't take that lightly. It's a responsibility to show up for yourself every single day. And getting sober is that first step in the process of, okay, I got to show up for myself. Today matters. I matter, right? So that's basically it today. I just wanted to come on and say, your days can be really, really, really crappy. But then all it takes is this one little spark of joy. And then next thing you know, boom, you're right back on the sober path. And you're right back on that sober journey. And you're right back up on the horse, right? So even in those moments when it's really, really low and you think they won't get better, I guarantee you that there are, just look out for, you just be mindful, like look out for those sprinkles of joy that you just don't happen to, maybe you won't expect to come. And then all of a sudden it does. And then use those little steps of joy to kind of build that momentum, like I spoke about earlier. That momentum is so killer. It's awesome. It keeps you going. You want to do better. You feel that joy. You feel that excitement again. You're excited to be alive again, right? So look out for those little tiny moments, right? And also reciprocate those moments. I like to call them love bombs. So in like a weird situation, if you ever find yourself like in a deep conversation with someone, or you're being extremely vulnerable that day, at the very end of that conversation with whoever you're talking to, even if it's yourself, just casually drop a, hey, you know what? I love you. And just watch the reaction from the other person. You'll be amazed. It's a little awkward at first and it feels really strange. But when you say I love you to someone in a genuine way, you'll see a little smile on their face. And it's incredibly satisfying. And I mean that satisfying because it's coming from a kindness place. It's coming from a place of love. And to spread love and joy in this horrible mess that we're in when you're actively drinking or using whatever drug you might be on, those are the little moments that you need to cherish, because those moments, they add up to big moments, and then those big moments end up being what your life is eventually. So I'll leave you with that just for today. But thank you so much for everyone listening, subscribing, sharing, really getting my channel out there. I'm so excited to announce that I have a lot of things coming up. A lot of people asking to be a guest. I have people that I'm coming on that I'll be recording very shortly. And I'm so excited to get all this out there, really push this thing. I have a good feeling that big things are coming, and I can't wait to get it all out there and share every single moment of this crazy life that I have now with all of you, because you are so important to me, and you matter, and that's all I want to say today. So God bless. We'll check in with you again really soon, and have a good one.